Hey friends, welcome back to Grand Adventure. I'm your host, Mark Guido, and we're going to be heading down all 444 miles of the Natchez Trace, from Nashville, Tennessee to Natchez, Mississippi. Come along. This episode of Grand Adventure is sponsored by eTrailer.com, where you'll find thousands of products for RVing, towing, camping, outdoor recreation, vehicles, boating, and more. Use the link down below in the video description to shop eTrailer with Grand Adventure. This unassuming entrance ramp marks the northern terminus of the Natchez Trace Parkway, a 444-mile-long unit of the National Park Service that follows the route of the historic Natchez Trace, a forest trail linking the Cumberland, Tennessee, and Mississippi rivers. Native Americans created and used the trail for centuries, linking hunting grounds with numerous prehistoric indigenous settlements. Early European and American explorers, traders, and immigrants used it in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, assisted by Native American guides, specifically the Choctaw and Chickasaw, who occupied the region. European Americans founded inns, also known as stands, along the trace to serve food and lodging to travelers. In 1801, the United States Army began trailblazing along the trace, performing major work to prepare it as a thoroughfare. All sorts of people traveled down the trace, itinerant preachers, traders, and peddlers among them, and the highwaymen bandits that preyed upon them. The heyday of the trace began in the 1770s and ended in the 1820s, with travel in that era taking 2 to 3 weeks. With the rise of steamboat culture on the Mississippi River after the invention of the steam engine, the trace lost its importance as a national road, as goods could be moved more quickly, cheaply, and in greater quantity on the river. By the 1830s, the route was already in disrepair, and its time as a major interregional commercial route had come to an end. The 2-lane, 444-mile Natchez Trace Parkway follows the approximate path of the trace, across high ground, from just outside of Nashville, Tennessee to Natchez, Mississippi. The Park Service has preserved historic portions of the trail, and historic and natural wonders for Parkway travelers. Access to the Parkway is limited, with more than 50 access points along its entire route through Tennessee, Alabama, and Mississippi. This is a linear national park that we'll likewise explore in a linear manner. We won't be stopping at every highlight, but we'll film and share the best highlights along the entire length of the Natchez Trace. Just under 9 miles into our drive, we arrive at the Natchez Trace Parkway Bridge, officially referred to as the Double Arch Bridge of Birdsong Hollow. It's a concrete double arch bridge, 1,572 feet long, built to carry the 2-lane Natchez Trace Parkway 145 feet over State Route 96 and above a heavily wooded valley. Also known as the Natchez Trace Parkway Arches, it is the first segmentally constructed concrete arch bridge in the United States, and won the 1995 Presidential Award for Design Excellence. Construction of the parkway was begun by the federal government in the 1930s, one of the many projects of the Civilian Conservation Corps during the Great Depression. In 1934, the Franklin Delano Roosevelt administration ordered a survey, and FDR signed the legislation to create the parkway in 1938. The final 2 segments of the roadway, however, weren't completed until 2005. During the War of 1812, many soldiers under the command of Andrew Jackson walked to and from battle along the Natchez Trace, traveling by foot through severe weather with little food and inadequate equipment. Many perished and were buried in unmarked graves along the route. There are two waterfalls along the Natchez Trace, and both are located in Tennessee. Jackson Falls requires a short but steep walk down the side of Baker Bluff, overlooking the Duck River to access. I've seen impressive photos of Jackson Falls, but in this year's drought, Jackson Falls has been reduced to a mere trickle. Although sometimes built atop the original route, the Natchez Trace Parkway most often runs adjacent to and immediately alongside the original route. This has allowed the Park Service to preserve sections of the original Natchez Trace, like right here. In other places, you can actually drive the original route of the old trace. This barn at milepost 401 was built for Mr. Leland Greenfield in 1959 from timber grown on this farm, where he first grew tobacco in 1932. Burley tobacco was grown and air-cured here. It's a hard crop to raise, with each acre requiring about 250 hours of labor. By way of reference, an acre of wheat requires only about 3 hours. Burley tobacco must be air-cured for 4 to 6 weeks in the barn before it's ready for market. We'll be right back with more from the Natchez Trace, following a brief message from our valued video sponsor, eTrailer. Whether you need products for your RV, boat, trailer, vehicle, hunting and fishing, off-roading, and more, our video sponsor eTrailer has you covered. Best of all, you'll find over 100 US-based enthusiast customer service reps ready to help via phone, chat, or email, both before and after the sale. These folks have used themselves the products that you're shopping for, and you won't find a more knowledgeable team anywhere to help you with your outdoor project. Click the link down below in the video description to shop eTrailer.com with Grand Adventure. The other set of waterfalls along the Natchez Trace is at milepost 392 at Fall Hollow. Here, a path and a set of wooden bridges take you across small creeks before they begin their tumbling descent. We actually found a number of small cascades here for a relaxing respite from the road. The largest waterfall here is a 20-foot overhanging plunge. Phosphate in these limestone layers came from shellfish deposited here some 400 million years ago. Through the years, unknown and uncounted men had passed this ledge, ignorant of the wealth it held. Certainly, some of them needed the phosphate to revitalize their worn-out farms. About 1880, man learned the importance of phosphate as a fertilizer, discovered it here, and began to mine it. Abandoned mine shafts and limestone ledges on both sides of the parkway near milepost 391 are silent reminders of the past mining activity. A 5-minute walk leads to an abandoned railroad bed and a collapsed mine shaft in a limestone outcrop. Most of us know about the famed explorer Meriwether Lewis of the Lewis and Clark expedition fame from our grade school history classes. Few of us, however, learned about Lewis's end from our textbooks. Lewis died while traveling on the Trace. Then serving as the governor of the Louisiana Territory, he was traveling to Washington, D.C. from his home base in St. Louis, Missouri. Lewis stopped here at Grinder's Stand for overnight shelter in October 1809. Some of the original foundation of Grinder's Stand is still visible in the grass adjacent to the modern-day replica. While traveling, Lewis wrote his will, leaving his possessions to his mother, Lucy Marks. He was distraught over many issues, possibly affected by his use of opium. In the middle of the night, Mrs. Grinder heard 2 gunshots and found Lewis bleeding from his wounds to his head and his chest. He was believed by many to have committed suicide by gun. Some uncertainty persists as to whether it was suicide. His mother believed he had been murdered, and rumors circulated about possible killers. Thomas Jefferson and Lewis's former partner, William Clark, accepted the report of suicide. Lewis was buried here near the inn along the Trace. In 1848, a Tennessee State Commission erected a monument at the site. The column is intentionally broken to signify a life cut short. Meriwether Lewis is where the National Park Service operates one of its 3 campgrounds along the Natchez Trace. All are free, primitive, and available on a first-come, first-served basis. They do not offer electricity, showers, or dump stations. The Natchez Trace Parkway does not allow dispersed camping. At Meadow Ford, near milepost 383, travelers on the old Natchez Trace crossed the Buffalo River, which was fordable except after heavy rains. The ford takes its name from its stone bottom, which reminded these earlier travelers of stone-surfaced or metalled roads back home. Also at this location is a short trail, which will take you to an old mill race, a river channel whose current fed Steele's Iron Works to produce primitive pig iron in the 1820s. When we come right back, following a quick ad break, we'll finish up the Tennessee stretch of the Natchez Trace and share the campground we're staying at, so stay tuned. One wonderful aspect of traveling the Natchez Trace is the frequency of picnic sites, restrooms, and other opportunities to get out and stretch your legs. Most, like here at Glen Rock Branch, include plenty of room for RV parking. A caution about exiting the parkway, for a few locations include low overpasses, like this one at milepost 381. Even though there's a Thousand Trails campground located just off the parkway at this exit, the overhead clearance is only 11 feet and isn't announced until you've already exited the parkway. I found myself having to turn around the trailer, and from the looks of it, many folks didn't notice the low height. The landscape surrounding the Natchez Trace Parkway in southern Tennessee is one of agriculture, particularly that of farming cotton. There's also a small Amish community surrounding Lawrenceburg. Travelers will find most of what they need here, including a Walmart Supercenter. We're staying just off the parkway at Hudson Hideaway, a new RV campground just north of Lawrenceburg. Our 50-amp full hookup site here is costing us $45 per night. It's been very quiet here and rather peaceful. These back-end sites are a little bizarre, with their own semi-private backyard behind the RV that's partially fenced in. That left an enormous gravel area between the two parts of the campground, which I'm not sure what they're going to do with. Here in mid-October, the sun is dropping early and the temperature is quickly dropping with it. We're going to get a good night's sleep tonight and get packed up for the second part of our trip down the Natchez Trace. We're going to be heading from the Tennessee-Alabama line down through northwestern Alabama and into northeastern Mississippi. So if you're not yet a Grand Adventurer, now is the time for you to go smash that little subscribe button right down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, and ring that notification bell to be sure that you never miss a Grand Adventure, which we premiere right here every Wednesday evening. We'd be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. Understand, it is extremely important to us that if you like this episode, please be sure to give us a big thumbs up down below. And while you're down below, that's where you'll find the comments section where we'd love to hear from you each week. So until next Wednesday, from the second part of the Natchez Trace, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.